everyone, welcome to today's Zoo to You. I'm Bridget. I'm a senior keeper here at Stone Zoo. Today we're going to be going on with the gibbons. They got some fun festive enrichment for the holiday. So you can see, like last week we were talking about the paper mache that we make here sometimes. They got some boxes that were covered in paper mache and paint. And then inside the boxes are a couple of treats. I took advantage of being out for getting my holiday fixins, and I saw some pomegranates, and I thought the gibbons had to have some. So there's some pomegranate in there, a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of cucumber. So those are all novel foods. We have some gibbon fans here that are excited to see them. So cucumber and blueberry and pomegranate are all novel foods for the gibbons here. Meaning they don't get them every day.
So Bridget, what are the gibbons' favorite treats to have? Do they have any favorite snacks?
They do like anything sweet. In the wild, gibbons eat a mixture of fruits and vegetables as well as browse. Browse is tree material. That's okay. Oops, we don't want to. So they forage for these fruits and vegetables and seeds in the wild. Here they get a mixture of fruit, apple, banana, grape. They really like the sweet things. We try to give them a well-balanced diet, though. Just like we like all the sweet things, we're not supposed to eat only sweet things. So we give them some leafy greens, some bamboo. You can see in their exhibit there's lots of bamboo. Sometimes they eat that. Sometimes we feed them different tree material from around the zoo that's browsable for them and non-toxic. You got to be careful, though, because some trees around the zoo are, in fact, toxic to some of our animals.
And Bridget, especially this time of year, when you're visiting the zoo, you may not see the gibbons. Would you be able to explain why that is?
Yeah, so we're lucky enough today that it's nice and sunny and it got to 40 degrees. The gibbons are from a warm weather climate, so they're used to the warmth. They need the warmth. So if it's below 40 degrees or close to 40 degrees but cloudy and rainy out, they will be inside their indoor space where it's nice and warm and dry. Days like today, they'll have access to that inside space and access outside, so they can choose which one they want to be in. As you can see, there's an interesting dynamic in this group. Iggy is in charge. So Iggy is mom. She is the golden one. So she is in charge of all the food and who gets the food, and mostly she gets the food. So she will let all the other gibbons know whether she thinks that they have earned their sweet treats or not.
And we've talked a little bit about paper mache, since today is kind of all about enrichment.
Mm-hmm.
What other forms of enrichment do the gibbons get? And do they get a lot of enrichment?
So these guys do get a lot of enrichment. They are very smart animals, so we try to give them things that elicit natural behaviors. So this box situation is a way that we present their diet to them differently. We can cook their diet, or we can soak the chow that they get, maybe give them different water sources. They get what's called a Lixit. So it's a automatic drinker. If they press it, water comes out, but we can give them big bowls of water, big bowls of dilute apple juice, different types of feeders where they have to figure out how to work out the puzzle in order to get the reward that is the food inside. So all sorts of things. They don't really like scent enrichment as much as like maybe cats do. So we don't really do the spices or anything. We can, it's just not something that really elicits anything super specific to their natural history.
And we had a question come in from MP Cashman.
Oh,
who wanted to
I think
know,
he's a top fan if I'm...
MP Cashman is a top fan, and he wants to know, do gibbons swim?
I do not believe that they do. So I know that a few zoos, their method of containment is a moat. So I would guess that they're not great swimmers. I think that maybe if they were in dire need of survival or drastic times, they might dip their toes, as one might say, but they do not make it a habit of swimming. Unlike sloths, who are known to be excellent swimmers.
I know, you think with those long arms, the gibbons...
Basically Michael Phelps in there.
Yeah, you think they'd be good at the doggy paddle or the gibbon paddle, but I guess
they're
not.
good at swinging, you know? They like the aerial swimming.
Lee or Leah, I'm so sorry, I don't know exactly your pronunciation, wants to know, who is the oldest gibbon?
So Iggy and Kian are about the same age. They are around 20. I'm sorry, I can't think. Do you know how?
I think they're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
Yes.
We keep the care of a lot of animals here, so it's hard to keep track of hundreds of birthdays. And after a while, everyone is around the same age in your head when you've worked here for 10 years.
I think it's also especially difficult when they were born at another zoo.
Exactly.
But True is actually celebrating his birthday this week. He was born right around Thanksgiving time, and he is 3 years old now.
Yep.
And then Gian is
almost 6.
Almost 6 years old now.
Yeah.
And do you know how long gibbons will stay with their parents
Yeah.
in the natural range?
So in their natural habitat, probably around 9 years. So they are dependent on their family for a really long time compared to other animals. Say a cat or the snow leopards, for instance. Our snow leopard cubs that we had here left at around 18 months. So they're much less dependent on mom and not at all dependent on dad. So these guys stay with mom. They nurse for probably about a year, maybe a little bit longer. And then they're very dependent on that social group to learn the skills, the behaviors that normal gibbons elicit. And so that's really important for them. You'll see when you come here, True and Gian playing a lot. You can see how True is learning from Gian, and Gian's teaching him all of the things that he knows, like launching himself into bamboo, a very important skill.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. So, Bridget, what is your favorite thing about the gibbons?
My favorite thing about the gibbons, I think that they're so fun in that they're personable. I know that they're a fan favorite for all of the zoo goers here at Stone Zoo. They really just have their own distinct personalities, and everyone knows them. Everyone knows their names. Everyone can tell them apart based on their personalities. True is very precocial. He's just very outgoing. He loves to come up to the window and just sit. During the pandemic, the heart of the pandemic, when we had no guests here, I would come out and I'd sit in front of the glass and have lunch. I had some grilled cheese and tomato soup with True one day. He just watched me, and that was pretty cool in a really horrible time. So they were little lights in the midst of bad times.
Yeah, and I think one question we get is, did the animals at the zoo miss guests when we were closed during the pandemic? And I think that the gibbons are probably one that really missed the interaction. So another thing we would do, and Bridget, I know you did this a lot, is we would bring out ambassador animals and other animals to come spend time with the gibbons. I know they were really interested in Butch the tortoise. Butch
As
the
everyone
tortoise,
is.
not so much interested in them. But that's another really great form of enrichment is, when the weather is right, we can bring other animals to see each other that they maybe don't get to see each other every day. So for the gibbons, that was a really special treat to get to see the owls and the tortoises and all sorts of stuff. All right, well, I think we're just about out of time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into our Zoo to You. Keep a watch for next week's and have a great holiday.